everything that I can do. What you'll notice here is it does not have rake. Oh man, let me just make this full screen. Just kidding. What the? Okay, that's bizarre. What you notice is it does not have rake DB create migration. It just has a rake DB migrate. Why is that? You have to use the Rails generators, right? So, what would go along with, what pairs with the migration? Is it the controller, is it the view, or is it the model? The model, right? So naturally, if I were to Rails generate, right, a model, it should create the migration for me, as well as build the model for me. So what model do we want to build again? A zoo? Okay, talk to me about this, this zoo model. Okay. Let's just, zoo is kind of like the whole project. We could do like, I don't know, animals. Do you want to do animals? Okay, sorry. Sorry, didn't know you hated animals in here. What about zoos? So like creatures? Okay. Sweet. Totally different from animal though. But sure, creature. All right, cool. Are we cool with this? All right. Hey, just be careful, right? Naturally, you're gonna want to put something like type in here, right? And that's like a string. Or like, what kind of creature type is it? Is it a reptile, right? Is it a something else I can't think of right now because I'm not clever? But just watch out type. Type as a column in your table is reserved. So don't put type. We'll have to put something like species or something. Is that cool? I don't have to put string here because it'll default to string. But what was your question, sir? Oh, yeah, just once I drop this class name, it should be good to go. Like this? That's what you think? Cool. Anything else for species? For creature? Guys don't want anything else? Name. Okay. Num legs, right? That's an integer. Cool. Anything else? That's horrifying. Right, Z? Okay. Eats humans. Boolean. Right? I can see where this is going, so I'm going to shut it down, right? This is what we're going to go with. Cool. Awesome. So what did it really make for us? If you just want to take a look here, it just created this migration file, as I promised. And in the models, it created a file called creature.rb. That's all it did. So, without further ado, does anyone know how to get rid of this thing? All right, cool. I don't like this full screen stuff. Cool. So, all I have is in my models, I now have something called creature. All right, let me just plus this up a little bit. Is that better? Mo better? Cool. And then in my database, I have a migration file. Seems about right. Yeah? That's what I told it. Probably what you told me to tell it. I don't know if I want to take full credit for this. Cool. So what should I do now? Now that I have created the migration, what should I do? Oh, whoa, that was aggressive. I should migrate it, yeah? Cool. So once I create the migration, I can always check. How can I check to see if it ran successfully besides just seeing this? Cool. Let me do that. Bloop. And there it is. Yeah? Cool. What else? What should I do now? Now that the model is done, what else do I need in MVC? Should I build the views first? Why would I not build the views first? Yeah, testing is a little weird, right? Because there's no controller action pointing and rendering the view. So I should probably build the controller first. So let's do that. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Here I am in my controllers. Oh no, I don't have it. How would I be able to create one? Can I generate a controller with Rails? How can I have Rails generate a controller for me? So hard. And what would this controller be? Creature? Do I have to put creature controller or creatures controller? This gets a little tricky, right? What should I do? How does this go? Plural. Why plural? Because I guessed. No. Huh? That is an acceptable answer, right? It's what Rails wants to do. That's why. Rails just wants it pluralized. Is that cool? Cool, cool. Rails G controller creatures. Cool. Nice. Is it though? I could be wrong. A lot of this gets blurry. Anyway, so let's just play. I'll play. So we're in this creatures controller. I think it should be singular, but we'll play. So, dang it. Where are my shortcuts at? Yeah, it should. I think we'll get to it. If it runs into an error, I'll let you know what time it is. Either way, what are the routes I'm looking for? What are my 7 RESTful routes? Say it with me now. Bodegas. Index, cool. All right. I'm so lazy. This is what I'm gonna do. A little bit of this. Boop 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 boop. All right. Cool. What's this? Noise. And this? I'm gonna hammer rest into your heads. Okay. Edit. Let's go in order, yeah? Thank you. And this is cool. And then what comes after that? And then this one is destroy, right? You just memorize them, honestly. No, this does not matter whatsoever. What will matter though, I'll get to later, is still your routes. So, cool. Any questions on the 7 methods that we've built in our controller and what they're going to be doing? Right? I mean, they're pretty descriptive, right? Like, I have an index, it's going to show all of them. Show is going to show one of them. New is going to give me some sort of new form. Create's actually going to create it in my database. Edit's the edit form. And update is going to update it in my database. And destroy is going to blast it away. All right? So far, so good? Cool beans. I'm going to get more and more hype like as this thing goes because this coffee is really strong. So just get ready. All right, what's next? Yeah, let's make some routes. What's the command to be able to search my directory for a file, a particular file? Command T, right? It's going to bring up this weird thing, and I just want to find routes. Bloop. Oh, there it is. Cool. If I wanted to go into my controller again, all right, just look and pay attention at how this is structured. I have something called apps, controllers, and then my creature controller. I can just do controller and then creatures controller like this because I'm following the way the folder structure is. This search algorithm is so good, I can just do controller and then creatures and it'll find it. If creatures is like kind of my only thing, I could just do creatures. But look, it finds the migration and then it kind of finds the model and then like somewhere else I have to find like the controller all the way down here. So if you need to find something specific, go ahead and just tell it what you need, like controller, creature, and then it'll just be like, all right, cool, that's what I'm looking for. All right, follow the file structure. It's very useful. Anyways, cool, routes. What do we need for routes? Should I do it old school style? Do you want me to do a little bit of this? God, trash. What is this, Sinatra? Get out of here. Joke. All right, how do I get all my routes? Resources, right? I want to show you something. Cool. What is this, creature? God, this class is weird. Okay, cool. All right, look what happens when I run break routes. Okay. This formatting's not great. But you see how it has this ID here for edit? Is that correct? Yes, it's very correct. All right. What about my show? Where is my show? My get. What about my delete? See how I have all these like ID params? Why do I need them for my show? What do I need it for my show, update, destroy actions? Even my edit. Huh? That's exactly right. I'm going to be pulling from the database. I need to know which one exactly I'm going to edit, destroy, or possibly like update or show. That's why I need the params for them. If, however, you get mega lazy, like me, and you put resource, you're like, all right, cool, it's resource, creatures, and you run rake routes, it'll look real good. It'll look real good. Except there's no like ID params for any of these. So you might run rake routes, see something come up, look at it real close, and just be like, oh yeah, no, it's totally good, and then all your routes break. So just be aware, yeah? Resources. Cool? Cool beans. Any questions on resource and resources? Oh, Omar, what's up?
Why don't you ever limit your resources with only? As I saw in
Oh, in the labs? Yeah, cool. Let me do that right now. But to be clear, is there a comma here? Yeah, right? All right, so only index. So that's a very good question. There could be situations where you don't want all 7 RESTful routes for a particular resource. Can you think of any time you would not have the edit, update, or delete, or show all of a particular resource? Very good. Like a login page, right? Also a bank, right? Like what would be important about a bank? You probably can't edit your own finances, but you want to be able to show the index, like I have a checking and a savings, and it takes 3 business days to transfer. It's old. It's Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's old. Anyways, it's okay, right? I want to index. I want to see all my bank accounts, right? Like my overseas Swiss bank account, all that. I want to be able to show the details of one account, like, yo, seriously, how much money is in there, and show me all the transactions that I made, right? But can I edit or update what's in my bank account? Can I go in and be like, yo, $80? Nah, dog. I'm going out this weekend. I need more than that. I can't edit it directly. So index and show are like the only 2 important views there. Can I delete or destroy my bank account directly, or do I have to have a representative on the inside, on the admin side to do that? Right. So that is like a really good example. Login as well, right? Can I see multiple, like if I have a login, right? Is there an index of logins? Like all these different logins for like Facebook? Or is it just like sort of like one login page? I would just have a show, right? Can I do an edit when I'm logging in? That doesn't even sound like it makes sense, right? So I would only have a show page, a show view for login. All right, so this is kind of when I would only use like one at a time. Cool? So for now, as I build out each one, I'm just going to go over and I'm going to add the routes one at a time, just so we can kind of see what's going on. Is that cool? It's a little painful, but it should make more sense, all right? So let's start with index. Cool. What do I do now that the route is established and I double checked it with my rake routes? What do I do? All right, there it is. Huh? Yes, the view, right? So I have my M and I have my C, and now I need my V. I'm glad that those letters don't sound like anything wild. Cool. So I have to start the server, right, to test it. Yeah? Cool. I need my V. That just sounds wrong. Cool. And what is this? Index.html.erb. Whoa. Do I need all this? Yeah. True. Very good. Do I need the HTML? Who says yes? Thank you. Cool. All right. And what goes in here? Nope. I just realized that that's not going to go the way I think it's going to go. We're just going to keep it very professional. And what do I need in the index? All the creatures, right? So how do I get all the creatures from my index? Okay, cool. So my controller, remember my controller serves as the waiter to serve up the details to my view page, which is going to be the client, the browser, right? So I need all my creatures, and that's going to be creature.all. Cool? Once I have all of them, what page am I viewing? What page am I showing? I'm going to render the show page. Is it show here? Is it new? Come on now. Come on, I need you. Say it with me now. Bodegas. Very good. Cool. So, oops, just kidding. All right. So, in my index, I have access to an instance variable called creatures, and that's going to give me all my creatures. So, all my creatures right now, I'm just going to put @creatures. Oops, I got to Ruby this, right? I'm writing Ruby in HTML, so I'll have to interpolate. Creatures.each do, right? And I'm going to do what? C for creature. Oops, I probably don't need this either. Ooh. And what do I want to show for it? Yeah, just the creature.name. For right now, because it's the index. I don't want all my attributes in the index, because that's what the show page is for, right? What will show up right now? Nothing, because I have no creatures, right? So here's what I like to do, because I'm lazy like that. God, we put so much in here. So let's put some seeds, right? Let's make some seeds. Cool. So we can do creature.create, and we have species. And what's the first one here? What? Reptile. Cool. And what is its name? Reptar. And how many legs does it have?
17.
Okay. Does it eat humans? Huh? Definitely. I've seen this thing eat babies. I've seen it. It's crazy. What else we got here? Dog. Very good. All right. What's the name here? Snoop. Very good. How many legs does it have? Pretty. Does it eat humans? You know it. Oh, know it. What else we got? A what? A lion. All right. Are we going good or bad today? Scar? Long live the king. True. Mad true, right? Cool. And just for now, we're good. Yeah? So I have to get out of here. I have to Rails dbc. It's going to give me no good information. And I'm just going to assume it's all right, unfortunately. Do you just want me to show you a little trick? Cool. So I can always put, like, puts making creatures. And then I can put right here, right at the end. Because it's just Ruby, right? Print, done. Creatures made. All right? The dark deed is done. Cool. All right? And then if I run seed again, it'll actually give me a little bit of like context. Cool? The dark deed is done. All right? Now we can run the server. Questions? Oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna have like extra seed data, and that's okay, all right? As long as we know what's going on. So, how do I get to where I want to go? Yay, I'm on Rails. Yay. How do I get to where I want to go? Creatures? How did I know that? It is RESTful. Yes, so good, right? But also, right, if I were to go localhost 3000 and I go to Rails info routes, which is the same as rake routes, okay? Oh, very good, thank you. It's embarrassing. Cool. I have a helper called creatures path. I have a get to /creatures. And what that's going to do is it's going to give me in my controller, it says it right here, in my controller, I'm going to hit a method, an action called index. So, creatures controller, right? My action is index. I have creatures, it's going to render an index view. So naturally, I have these cool creatures. Huh? Any questions? We're going to move a little bit faster since I see no questions. And I think everyone here is mad smart. Cool? Cool? So I'm going to go over link to right now. But first, before we build link to, let's build the show. Cool? So what does show need? Where are params coming from? Right, so let's go back to routes, right? Because remember, I need a new route for my show page. So I don't just need index, I also need show. Cool? So with show, I also need to refresh this. Cool, right? So now I have a show, right? And it's just to creatures /ID. Right? This is the RESTful route. And I have a little helper called the creature path, different from creatures path, right? The singular and pluralization will get you. Promise. It's sneaky. Let me just plus this up a little bit. Cool? All right, so if I wanted to see creatures, and I wanted to see a particular one, I can go to what? 2? Cool, let's do that. Oh, what's this? What kind of error is this? I'm missing some sort of template, and right here on line 12 it breaks. Why? I never made the show file. I'm telling it in my controller, hey, get the creature, and then show me the show file. But unfortunately, there's no show file. Duh! A doy! No? Damn, I'm stuck in the 90s. Cool. All right. Show me the creature. Good answer. Cool. And what do I need here? Just the details of the creature. All right. So we can make like a h2 tag, and we can put @creature. Wait, is this Ruby or HTML right here? Just what I highlighted. Is that Ruby or HTML? Cool, so how do I get it on the page? I have to embed the Ruby, the ERB, right? Cool. And what do I have? I have name. Cool. What else do I have? @creature dot what? Right? Number of legs, num legs, something like that. And is this, what is this again? Cool, 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 cool. All right. So what else we got? Species. All right. But what's gonna come out? We want to like make sure like name comes out, right? We want to make sure species comes out and like number of Legos. Cool. There's something else, right? Something like eats humans, right? Safe. Cool. And at creature. Oh yeah, you're right. Eats humans, something like that. Cool. Yo, is it safe though? Cool. All right. So now, what should we see? If I refresh the page. Stuff, right? There it is. Is it safe though? True. All right, because Snoop eats human beings, and this is like probably like it should be reverse logic. Yeah, is it dangerous though? Cool. Just for argument's sake, is it danger though? There you go. Mad dangerous. All right. Remember when Snoop Dogg became Snoop Lion? Just me. Anyways, cool. Any questions on just the show page? So I know that if I go to /creatures with an ID of 2, it's going to do creature.find with the params of ID 2. That's where the params are coming from, yeah? Cool. So naturally, in my index, right, I want to show you something. I want to do something like link to. Is this Ruby or is this HTML? Ruby, right? And I want to do something like show on the page, and the next argument is going to be some route. Don't know what it is, don't really care. Cool. So let's go back to index. I should see, remember, for each of the creatures, I want the name and then a link. It's going to be called show on the page, and it's going to go to some route. So let's just open the inspector so you can see, right? But like, look, you see on the bottom left here? It's just some route for all of them, because I'm hard coding it each time. What if, instead of some route, I just did something like cool ID bro, and then, oops, let me just do this, because I'll need this. And then I interpolated the c.id. Is it going to be exactly the same for every route? So if you look, it's cool ID bro 456. All right, do you see it? See it change? Nice, right? Knowing this information, all right, what can I probably do here? What route would that hit me? This would hit me the show page for each one, right? Because remember, it's just /creatures/ID. So let's take a look. Where would that bring me to? This first one. Let me click it. Cool, cool. What about this one? Oh, Snoop. Just kidding. Reptar, Scar. Based on the ID. All right, look, the ID changes up here, like magic. Cool? So what if I don't want show on the page? What if I wanted something else? What would make sense here? Right, like the details of this thing. Would c.name work? This is just a string, right? What would happen if I did this? It would just say c.name. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. We know that this is what? Well, yeah, but you know, it's like a string. So we have to string interpolate, right? So if I did this, I would get, oh snap, right? I probably don't want this anymore. That's like redundant. And what would happen? Oh snap. Cool, cool. Look at the cool links. Oh snap. Yeah? I feel like I'm playing a xylophone. Does everyone understand that? Link to will take what is displayed first and then the actual route, the actual path. It gets mo better. All right? Do you remember? I'm just going to forget it. I'm going to do this. Do you remember routes? Our good friend routes? Oops. Do you remember our good friend routes over here? What is creature path here? Rather, what is creature's path? What URL would creature's path give me? If I were to just put creature's path, what possible route do you think it might give me? Right, creature's index. So if I were to put creature's path here, instead of all this trash, I just put creature's path, what would it give me? What would it give me? What would it give me? Slash creatures, maybe? Just wild guess? So, look at this. Everything here is creatures. Interesting. So this helper is just like a nickname. If I were to do creature path, on the other hand, and I got rid of this, creature path, what information would I need for here? Does it know what ID right now? No. I can tell it what ID, and I can hard code that value. So, if I were to go back and I were to see this, all of them are 1. Do you see it? Now, if I were to say 2, they're all 2. What if I did something mega fancy and I said c.id? What do you think would happen? They're interpolating. All right? Now, Rails does some magic for you. All right, did I lose you on this? All right. Rails does some magic for you. All right? Instead of just this ID, what does this object have? ID, right? Can I just do, psych, just kidding, I'm passing the object, the whole object. Ruby would be like, cool, got it. It's just going to run ID for me. So, it'll work. Cool? Anyone get that? All right, it's about to get wild. I know. I'm halfway through this. Cool. What if I told you that this second argument is always the path? Is that correct? That's what I've told you, right? It's always the path. Would it make sense if I gave you a specific object, just one object, would it know to show you the details of that one object? If I were to just be like, creature. Oh yeah. If I were to refresh, it'll go right to it. So this is the syntactical sugar for creature path, passing in the creature. Or I can just be like, hey, when you're done, route me to creature. Just so you know what it looks like both ways. I write it like this. Just doesn't look as good, right? So there you go. I write it like this, but you can also put creature path and pass in the creature object. Either way, it's up to you. For class purposes, I'm just going to put creature path and I'm going to pass in the creature. Cool? Any questions on, okay, didn't like that. Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you. Cool. Any questions on link to, how that works? Yeah.
So we can use this within any segment of the object as we're doing the URL path? Like where we can just do creature versus
Yeah.
creature.
Yep. Completely. Cool. Questions on link 2 right now? All right, we're gonna start flying. Ready? Gonna fly now. What is new again? Right, some form, I guess. Right? Do I need anything like here? Do I need anything like creature equals to creature.new or create or find right here in the new? Huh? Completely, right? But right now I'm just trying to render some form. Cool? So I want to render this new. Yeah? Cool. Do I have a new page? No. Probably want to make one of those. New.herb. Right? And what did I do last time in Sinatra? I did a little of this action. All right? I made this form. Remember that? Cool. This is trash. I'll tell you why. Actually, you know what? We'll just leave it in there. We'll just leave it in there. A little bit of this. Cool. And we'll have some sort of input in here, and the value, we'll just leave all this blank, right? This is just like an empty form. I want, on the other hand, all right, some like new creature. Right, maybe a little bit of this too. All right, like a dog. Cute little doggo. Cool. Oh no, give it to me. All right, cool. Sorry, that was weird. Either way, now I want to go over the difference between form tag. Whoa, that was a lot. Okay. And form for. Also a lot. Cool. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to show you with what they give you. All I did was tab, and it built this out for me. So, cool. All right, class is like irrelevant here. Oop. So what do I get here? All right. With form tag, I have to tell it what path to go to, all right? I can, in fact, do a get to creatures, something like that. What method do I want if I'm going to submit this form? Probably want like a post, all right? Okay. All right, I'm gonna get rid of this. Actually, I won't. This is what the text field looks like. This is just, they spaced it out, so it looks sexier, but we don't need any of that. Cool. What is placeholder? What do you think? What do you think placeholder might be? Huh? Just, any thoughts? Probably the placeholder, all right? What is this? What is all this? Weird, right? Weird stuff. Let's not worry about it for right now. Just saying that you can pass in other objects. So what is this text field tag for? Something like the name or like the species. Oh. What do you think is going to come out here? Let's get rid of this real quick. All right. And what is this? My new? So creatures new. Oops. Let's see here. Oh, right. Okay. Just kidding. I made this new, but did I make the route? I did not. Shame on me. Cool. Okay. What doesn't it like? Oh, yeah, that weird S, right? Yeah, what is this? Trash. Get out of here. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Weird. Thank you. Either way, so what do I have here? I can open my inspector and check out this exact form. And look, I have a name, species, ID of species, value, placeholder, ID, search. Whatever I wind up putting in here in these params, because it's just a method, all right, is going to come across on this side. If I want to learn more about it, guess who I can ask? My good friend. Oh, Google, have you ever let me down? Yes. Yes, you have. But not today. If I just build this form tag, it's just going to build this for me. Notice how it has something called authenticity token, and like its value is like this weird string of characters. All I wanted to show you in this is, if we go here, right? This is the first form, all right, and this is the second form. Do you see it here? First form, second form. So my first form, I have something called input type hidden, authenticity token, and some weird string of characters. In my second form, I have the input. Trash. We have a particular set of people in here who are interested in cybersecurity. Just know that without this authenticity token, it is possible that when you submit your form, it could go and be accepted in places you may not want them to be accepted. All right? To have this authenticity token means that I'm saying that this form came from Rails, and if I submit it to Rails, I can check it with Rails and see if it's good to go. So that no one else can really essentially access it unless they have this token. Yeah? Yeah?
Why isn't that just built into the system? Like, why do you have to affirmatively choose to?
I'll play. Afterwards, just give me your social security and credit card number after class. We'll be good to go. And I'll tell you. You ever submit a form with like sensitive data?
No. I'm saying why isn't the why do you have to opt in for the authenticity token? Why isn't it just not sure how
Okay, so what I think you're trying to ask is why do I have to have some sort of authenticity token?
yeah, why isn't it just the sort of
Because
built
if
into all Ruby to all Rails?
Because if I don't have the authenticity token, right, I can hijack your form. It's so easy to literally go into the inspector and change this to bad server, right, evildoers, and essentially submit that post to my server, and now I have your data. But if there's an authenticity token, Rails will check to see first if that token matches. If it doesn't, then it'll just cancel the request. It won't submit anything. Params will never come through. If you wanted to learn more, I will send you out more details about CSRF tokens. Oops. CSRF tokens. Okay, but maybe not this one. There's like a Rails one. All right, what is CSRF? What is the importance and how does it work? Cool? I'll send it to you later. All right. Essentially, all you need to know is that it protects your route, it protects your form. Cool? That's why we'll always wind up using the form tags, and we won't be building it from scratch anymore. All right? So, form tag, right? This is kind of the route. This is like the method that's happening. This is like the text field, right? If I wanted to specify it, this is how I would do my form tag. I can do a label, I can do a text field tag for the object, and then I can do a submit tag. I don't have to put, right? Like, it doesn't look very good if I were to just do like input here inside my Rails helper, because this is just HTML that's trying to submit a Rails form. I'd rather keep it all in the Rails land and do something like submit tag. And this could be submitted. This is just what's going to display. The first thing is always just going to be what gets displayed. Cool. So I'm going to get rid of this. This is just an attribute of my creature. Cool. So cool. So now you can see in the form, text, name, species. All right, what is name again? That comes over on params? It's just going to be the key, all right? So the key is species, and the value would be whatever like the user inputs. This is the value for the params. So far, so good? All right. This is just complicated, so I just wanted to give it a second. You see how this like came out exactly as I thought? The first argument is always going to be whatever comes across, right? So this is like the fancy way. Ugh, whatever that means. Cool. So we went over a little bit form tag, right? Text field tag just opens this little text field. And then submit just adds the submit for me on my form. Cool? What if there was like a better way? If I know I'm going to build something for a particular object, right, like creature, I can build a form for that creature. Form tag, notice how it doesn't take in any object. It's pretty generic. It's just, this is the route I want to hit, this is the post. right? The post to creatures is what RESTful route? Who said that? There you go. Let's just create. All right, we can check that by going to routes. All right, new creature path. All right, and where is create? A post to slash creatures is going to hit my create route. So naturally, if I did in my form a post to slash creatures, what method am I hitting in my controller? Yeah? All right, post to creatures hits create. So post to creatures is going to hit the create route. So with species, submit, what can I do? I can always check in my create. This is the route it's going to hit, right? I think Rails has like ByBug. Have you seen ByBug yet? It's like binding pry, but mo better. Cool. So let's do it. Let's hit this, right? New species, undiscovered. Bird. What's going to happen? I'm going to hang because I hit the ByBug. Or the binding pry, whatever you want to call it. All right? So it's in the ByBug, it's in the create. What are my params? I have species, new species, undiscovered. Yeah? Who's seen this? Permitted false. What does permitted false mean? It won't let you add in your hash to your object, and I'll explain what that means, right? If I wanted to do like creature dot create, what can I pass in here? Just the params? Like this? So it's forbidden attributes error. What does this mean? What is this? Species? What does that give me? I can require specific keys in my params, and I can tell it to be permitted. Is that true? Something like that? Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, species. Yo, Zach, what is it? Permitted or permit?
Permit.
Oh yeah, creatures. Ugh. But I don't have it yet right here. I don't have it yet. And that's because it's not nested. So it's not nested. All right, I'll explain this in a little bit. So with form tag, I don't pass in the object. Does that make sense? Like right now, I just have a route. Do you remember in Sinatra when I was doing like the mass assignment? And I was like creating the nested thing inside the value somewhere. Inside the name, I was creating my own nested hash, and then it would be like the attribute. I was doing this to create the nested hash. Okay. Here, I can't really do that with the Rails. Does that make sense? Like it doesn't really take in this thing here where I can like try to create some sort of weird nested object. It doesn't like it. And then I can try to like stringify it. Oops. Try to add strings here. Like that's not a good look. So what I really want is I want to create this nested object here. So instead of form tag, let's look up my good friend form4. So I have form4 here. All right, I just ripped it from the docs, and I'm just gonna like have you manipulate it to make it bend to your will. You know what I'm saying? One form to rule them all. So what object do I have here in my new for creature? Do I have at creature? Do I? No, I don't. But can I make it? Of course. I'm in charge. I'm the full stack developer, and I do whatever I want. I can touch the front end and the back end. I can just do creature. Do I need to find in my new? Does this creature exist yet? No, I'm trying to make a new creature. So right now, at creature is an empty object. It's just a creature with the ID of nil, number of legs is nil, spiciness is nil, right? Taco type is nil. Like all the attributes of this creature is nil, right? Because I just did new. I passed in 0 params. Check. So naturally, in my new, I'm going to do a form for this creature because I'm trying to build out the form for this creature. Right now, there's nothing in it. It's all nil. What URL do I want to hit? I can pass in, and we'll see it here. Yeah, probably, yeah. So instead, I can pass in the new creature path. Right, and we don't want any of this. This is some class trash. Cool. You can put some fancy stuff in here. We don't need to worry about that. What is a attribute of creature? We have name. Yeah. What else do we have? Species. Anything else? Yeah, we'll just leave this for right now. Right? It does have number of. You know what? Fine. What is it? Num legs. And is it a text field? What is it? Num? Cool. All right. I think there's one more, but that's not important right now. Continue. Cool. I broke something. What is this? It doesn't like that. Inexplicit conversion of number symbol. Where is my form 4? Oh, I actually have to have URL in here. See it? Just kidding. I'll throw that back in. Cool. So what are these? I think they're like label tags too, right? Where are my label tags at? F.label. Is it label tag or label? Just label? Cool. And if I were to do that, like a name, a label will come out for name. So I can do the same for species and then number of legs. Whoa. It got out of control. Species. Ah, cool. And this is leggies, right? Cool. Is that a little bit better? So far, so good? So what's the name? Yeah, very good. And species, and the number of legs? 5, cool. Do I still have my buy bug in my create? Cool. So if I hit create, what's gonna happen? I told it to go to the new creatures path. So it did a post to creature/new. New creatures path goes to creatures/new. Where do I actually want to go? I want a what? Post to creatures. So how can I do this? Can I just do creature path? Why? What's the difference between these two? Just the verb, right? They look the same. What's the difference between get and post? Yes. One is just a get request. The other is a post. The route is exactly the same, but the HTTP verb is different. So if I pass it this, but then I tell it to do a post, which one will it hit? If I tell it to do a post, which one will it hit? Index or create? A form. What is the default for form? Get or post? So if this is going to be a post to the creature's path, what will it hit? Cool. So, blah, 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 blah. Okay, a lot. Very good. Now I'm in the by bug. Cool. So what are my params? So what are my params with the key of creature? Those are the ones that I want. So the form for versus the form tag, because I pass it in the object, when I do this form object, right, do fblock, and I pass it the text field, it's going to make the nested params for me. Versus when I do the form tag, I don't have nested params. Cool? So if I have nested params, then I can do params.require. I can do creature now. And that's going to give me just those. I can permit certain parameters like name, right? Species, num legs. Permitted false, permitted true. So if I were to do creature.create with params, what happens? I get into this attribute error, right? Even if I were to do to this, the params creature, even if I were to do this, it's still going to run into this forbidden attributes error. When I create, I touch the database. I actually make a commit to the database. That is the most dangerous time in your application, when something gets written to the database. All right? I can read from the database all day. That's not really like unsafe, so to speak. It's when I write to it that's dangerous. So what I really want to do is I want to be really, really, really specific about what I allow to be written to my database. So by default, anything that gets passed through will get blocked, unless it is specifically whitelisted. So in order to whitelist it, I should then, under permitted true, I can then take the params, I can require the key that I want, which is creature, that has all my nested attributes, and then I can permit only the attributes that I want to permit. Let's just say there were other attributes in there and I did not permit them. It would get blocked. So naturally, when I create, I want to be able to create with the params that I want and permit only the attributes that I want to permit. Transaction is good to go. Cool? So when I say strong params, I'm talking about these parameters are essentially whitelisted. That's all that means. When I say strong params, that means I'm permitting them. I've allowed them to come through. That's all it means. Cool? You see it? Good to go? Cool. Any questions on strong parameters? Yeah.
For using the permit in every single one, can we use the exclamation mark version, or is that not considered like?
You can use it after we get to validations, because right now we'll do nothing for you. And I'll get to that later. All right. Yeah.
So this is considered a safety measure just because you have to manually type the keys and the values?
100% yes. This is a safety precaution because you have to force it to tell it what exactly is safe and what exactly is okay. So naturally, I want to do something. Oh, not that. That was out of control. I want to do this. Does that make sense? I can't just do creature create params anymore. I have to whitelist them. I have to tell it, hey, these are the params that are coming in hot. And so it knows to allow them specifically. This looks like a lot of like wild code. So do I want these params require permit to be used by anyone except my application? Like, do I want anyone from the outside to see what params I'm permitting? That kind of defeats the purpose of like the security, right? So I want to hide them. I'm gonna tuck them away in like a secret area of my controller. How can I make something secret? So I have private, and now I have to make a method here called like creature params, something like that. So far, so good. Can I just rip this and just put it right here? And then, with my creature params, I can just create it with the creature params. This right here is a very common design pattern called strong params. That's all this breaks down to.
The strong params be like if someone says what are your strong params, is it just the attributes that you like
Yeah.
like label?
And someone says like, hey, did you do strong params? You're like, yeah, I permitted name, species, number of legs, something like that. That would be like an appropriate response. Cool. As opposed to like, hey, did you do strong params? And you're like, yup, totally. And you're like, did you though? Let's take a look. All right, you should have some sort of private method in there. Cool? Yes?
So if the params aren't in that permitted list, then
It won't come through.
you can't change it. You can't.
Yeah, it won't work. Even in the update. Right? Any questions on just the creation? Yeah?
I don't understand what type of exploitation you're preventing by having the private method.
That is a much longer answer than I would like to go to in lecture, but I will touch base with you offline. Okay. Shortest answer is if, by definition, everything here is private, what would this be? Okay. And so there are exploitations that you can essentially utilize to read, like the files or like the methods and the definitions of the methods. So you have to start really thinking through about like what you want seen and what you don't want seen, right? Like right here, at creatures equals creature.all. I mean, if someone gets to that, I'm gonna be like, cool, man. It's the index page, bro. I'm gonna show you all the creatures. That's not like a secret, you know? But I don't want people to know what the name of my attributes, because then I don't want someone trying to hack into each one of my objects. Remember, back in Mod 1, you did like probably the bank account, class bank account, and then you did like an add a reader writer for it, and then you made like a checking account, and then to like you did a method called withdraw, and then it just took like how much money you had and did like minus 500 or something. Yes, no? Okay. Either way, just think about security, right? Public and private. Private means that like nobody else has access to it. I cannot from the outside. Cool. I cannot from the outside. What the? Go to my Rails console. I cannot do creature dot creature params from the outside. Only methods within the class can call it. I can't call it from the outside. So if somebody else from the outside of my application is trying to run something like this, it'll block it. Cool. All right. Sweet. Any questions on just creating? I can see there's a lot of tired people in here, and the lecture's going a little bit long. But I wanted to make sure you understood all of this completely. So I'll leave it up to you. All right. I'm going to continue, and we're going to finish CRUD. I'm going to show you a refactor, and I will show you the before action and how it works. So first things first, I built a Beanie Baby app. That was dumb. Anyways, first things first. Let's take a look at this controller, right? We did the index. So far, so good. And then we also had a... Are you quite finished? Cool. Render. And I did the index page, right? Remember, Rails is smart enough to know that on the RESTful routes, if I have a method called index, it's automatically going to be looking in my views folder under creatures, because it's the creatures controller, right? The creatures controller, under the creatures views, for a, I'm not going to do it, that was kind of dizzying, right? I'm sorry. For a file called index, a little slow zoom, right? So if I got rid of line 6, it'll still work. But I'm just trying to be more specific for you. Is that cool? All right, so we got through index, show, new, and create. I left this by bug in here. All right. We talked over what these creature params are, what these strong params are, because we need to whitelist, right? Okay. Hashtag need to whitelist my attributes because of dem hacksaws, right? If you read a little bit at all whatsoever of the security things that I sent over, it's kind of like dangerous unless you specifically permit certain things to touch your database. Cool? If you didn't read it, it's boring. Just know that you need to whitelist them, and they're called strong params, right? Here, strong params. Hashtag strong params, hashtag muscles, hashtag gains, hashtag flex on them. Cool, right? Questions on this so far? Strong params? Cool. So in this new, I showed you how to use the form tag with the submit tag, and then I showed you form for with the object. What form for is going to do is, in this text field, for name, it's actually going to do @creature.name. It's going to call this method. And that's what it's going to put in here for name. Right now, @creature in my new is what? What is @creature.name equal to? Nil, right? It's equal to nil. So will anything come up in this text field? No. Same thing here, right? It's going to do @creature. Oop. Dot species. Same nil, right? And it's going to do the same for the number of legs. Cool? So because they're all nil, the form is actually going to be empty. Do I need this create here for this submit? For this form for? Well, let's find out. Bloop. I hit a little save action. All right. Is my server running? No, it's not. Little Rails S. All right. Just need to get out of here. Let's go to zoo. Cool. I hit refresh. Okay. Didn't like that. I don't expect the end of input. I don't think it likes this over here. Just know that that's what it does. Am I missing something? Could have sworn I didn't change anything. Yeah. For whatever reason, it doesn't like those like extra comments. Cool? Just know that that's what it's doing here. Cool?
Does that comment out the rest of the rep?
It does weird things. It's probably better this way. Or I can put just in these hidden HTML comments, right? Calling, right, at creature.name. See if that bothers it. No, it's cool. Right? So I showed you a couple of things. Loop. I showed you this form tag and how, in actuality, do you remember I did this nested thing? I created this nested hash so that I can use the params later. So if I were to do something like some rando creature name, cool, and I hit submit, I'm going to wind up hitting this create. Because I'm hitting the /creature/post, which if you remember in my routes, /creature/post actually is going to hit the create. Can you see this size, or is it too small? You see it in the back? Yeah? Cool. Low that action? Cool. Great. So it's going to hit the create, right? The create has a buy bug right here, so I'm paused inside the terminal. Now, actually I don't really need this right now. I can check out my params and see how I have this nested here. It's because I made a key of nested. Something species, sure. So my nested key with species points to what I put inside the input value. If you really wanted to go hard in the paint, you can use the form tag. Form 4 is going to build that nest for you, that nested hash for you. That make sense? Raise your hand if you just understood that part alone. All right, cool. So I'm going to get rid of this. Is that cool with everybody? All right? This form tag is trash. Trash. Boo! Gone. Yeah? Cool. So let me exit out of this. Let me go right back to new. All right? And here what we see is it has something called create creature in this little box. But if you look at my code, does that bother anyone when I do that? I'm just like sliding it over. I don't have any submit here. I don't have no details, no deets. But if I refresh, it changes it. How do you think Rails knows that I'm trying to create the creature? The form is associated with this empty object. So when Ruby sees that this form for add creature's ID is nil, it's like, oh, this form is probably trying to create it. Does that make sense? Now, in the same way, right? What do you think? Right? Notice how I never actually did anything. Where do I want to go from here? After I submit this form, after I create the creature params, where do I want to go? Redirect to what? Creature path, and I'm going to pass in the creature. Right? Do I have the creature right now? I can just make it, right? Sorry. So far, so good. I just had a new variable. It's going to be this new creature. On the create, do I get my ID? Yes. So this must be that creature's ID. But remember, I'm also super lazy. I can redirect to that creature. if I wanted to, as like a shorthand. So either way will work. This is more explicit. Cool. So let's test. All right. I can have a name, right? What's like a creature name? Cool. Evans, right? Guess I'm weird. I'm a human being, and I have just 2. I don't want to get in trouble, so I'm gonna keep my thoughts and jokes to myself. What's gonna happen when I hit create creature? It's gonna hit this controller action. Yes, very good. It's going to create the creature, and then it's gonna redirect to the creature path, which should be what? Restful action. Show, right? So let's do it. Cool. There I is. The human being, Evans. Number of Legos 2. Dangerous, not really. Notice how this is kind of empty because I didn't pass in the params for it. Yeah? Cool. Let's do edit. Yeah? With edit, what's the first thing I need? I need to find the creature, right? Do I have the params ID here? Well, let's check. Right? In my routes, do I have my edit action here? No, I don't. So I must need, therefore, the edit action. I'll lose anybody? All right, so if I refresh, golly, this is terrible. I now have this edit action, all right? And the nickname is called the edit creature path. Cool? And it's just going to be a get to creatures ID edit. So do I have params ID here in my edit? Yeah? I must. I must dance. Cool. So first I need the creature. And that is going to be creature.find with what? Params ID. Cool. Who has seen this and who has seen this? Who has seen both? Who can tell me the difference? Just write code willy-nilly? Absolutely. Find by, right? You can tell it something else like name, and then I can do like params name or something, right? So there's a little bit extra functionality there, but I want to show you something. All right, let us go to a new Rails C. Okay. Just kidding. I need to be in the zoo, right? Now, I can do creature.find with 1, and what do I get? I get the first creature, right? I can also do creature.find by the ID of 1, right? So far, so good. Same thing. What if I did creature.find by ID something that probably doesn't exist? What do I get back? Get back nil. Nil is an acceptable value. If I were to do creature.find with that same ID, what do I get back? Error. I get back an error. So, on the safe side, if I return nil, is that going to be okay? Kind of, all right? If I return nil, nothing happens. If I try to do something and I do a lookup and it breaks, my application will break. Does that make sense? This will come into play later on, but just understand the difference between find and find by, right? Find will throw an error, find by will return nil. Cool? So, nice. So I have this creature, right? What do I need with this creature? What do I need to do? Anything? Just going to get the creature from the database, and then I'm just going to render this edit. That's all I'm going to do. So does edit exist right now? Huh? Did I make a file called edit? No. So let's make it. In creatures view, edit.erb. And what does this edit look like? It looks exactly like the new. Right? Except, just to differentiate, right? Like, I'm not crazy, it's the edit. Cool? Just because if I'm putting the exact same code in, right, I'm like, how can I differentiate the pages? Right? I kind of want to like look to see what the header says. So, let's do it. If I were to go to, right, /8, how would I go to, what route am I looking for? For edit. I'm looking for /creatures with an ID, say 8, /edit. So, /edit. Would that get me to where I need to go? What is it going to hit now? What controller action? It's going to hit edit inside my controller. Cool. And in my edit, what do? I just get the creature by the params, and then I render the edit page. That's all I'm doing. So if I get the creature, and then I render the edit page, I should see some sort of form. I'm not crazy. This is definitely the edit page. How did this come up? How did Evans come up? Human being. How did it know 2?
Add feature.
Yes. Add creature. Is this now an empty object? No. It's real, right? It's mad real. So in my edit, right, remember I'm saying it calls creature name? That's what it's doing here. It actually interpolates it. But what does this button say? How did it know to do that? It's because the object exists here. The main difference between when I was in this new and when I was in this edit is @creature has no ID. It doesn't exist. @creature here, I did the find by, and it does exist. So when I submit, it knows, hey, you're submitting for an empty object, you're probably creating it. If I'm submitting this form for this creature, I'm probably editing it. Right? Makes sense to me. So if it already knows I'm editing, what method do you think it's going to hit? Well, we can always check, right? A little bit of this, a little bit of this action. I can look at the form, and I can see exactly what's happening. Oh, what's that? Cool. It sees it. It knows. Right? It knows. So I know I'm going to hit this patch. And I'm going to hit a patch to what action here? /creatures/ID. So what kind of route do you think that might be? Just a wild guess. Wild guess. Huge wild guess. Cool. Patch /creatures/ID, creatures/update. Cool, cool, cool. So will this form hit this route? If I have a form that goes to a patch with a /creature/ID, /creature/ID with a patch, will I hit this? Yes. So I must have, therefore, in my controller, some sort of update, some sort of bug. I know I'm going to hit this. I want to pause the code right here. Cool? So, let's do it. What do we want to change the name to? Yeah, boy. All right, if you guys don't give it to me, I'm just going to be my dudes. My dudes. Whoa, almost didn't want to change that to an N, you know what I'm saying? And 10, right? I'm going to get fired. So, where does this hit? It's going to hang. Cool. So, I must be in the patch. Bloop. I'm in the patch now, yeah? The update. So, what are my params? Permitted false. Okay. So what do I need here? Well, the first thing I have to do in my update, all right, is I have to do creature equals to creature.findBy, or find, doesn't matter, the params of ID, all right? Because what is params with the key of ID? The ID of the one that I'm editing. So I want to make sure I'm getting the one that I'm editing, right? Can I then do just creature.update? Can I just pass in params like a champ? No, I have to do that whole params.require. And what am I requiring? What's the nested hash that I want? Creature. All right, and what am I permitting? Name, what else? Species. I'm spelling that wrong, I think. Species? Sure. And what else? Number of legs? Something like that? I think I'm missing up. What do you mean? Let's find out. So no, I don't have to, right? Cool. This code looks awfully familiar. Where did I write this? I probably, right? I wrote that. Oh right there. All right, der. So here, I'm just going to do the same logic, right? I got to get the creature. I'll just put find by for funsies, right? Params of ID, cool. And then what did I do? Creature.update with what did I use? So, cool. Cool. And then finally, I'm going to where? Redirect to the creature. No. But for you, I will. Cool? For you, I will. You're the wind beneath my wings. Ooh, thank you. Cool. Questions on this? All right, so looks like edit and update are pretty good. But is this good practice, right? Is this good practice? This and this, they look the same. Can I abstract some of this? Cool, right? I want to render only this chunk of code. So I can do something like underscore, which is going to indicate that I'm going to give it part of my code. Just a little teeny bit, all right? I'm gonna call it form. What I want to do is I want to take this and I want to rip it and I want to put it in here. So this partial has part of the code that I want for a different part of my application, right? If you remember, why do we not have in say edit this? Right? Why do I not have like all this? Where is it actually? Where does it live? In the layout, right? Right there. And then this yield. Notice, in this, do I want, right, if I'm going to put this form inside here, do I also want this to pull in doc type and head tag and body? Do I want it to do it? If I'm going to put just this code here, I don't. So the way Rails works is with the underscore, it indicates that it's a partial. So it's not going to double yield the layout. So I want to, in here, I want to render. Does this look like HTML to you? Looks like what? Ruby? I want to render the form. It is understood that if I'm rendering in the middle of another ERB, I'm going to be rendering a partial. So I don't have to put underscore form. It's going to look for underscore form. Actually, I'm not sure. Like between Rails 4 and 5, I think they took it out, but we'll check. Let's just get form working first, yeah?
So is this so you can just keep reusing the same form?
I can reuse this as much as I want now because I've abstracted it. So we'll edit work. Actually, I gotta get out of the binding. Cool. Let me go right back to, cool, my dudes. Still works, right? Even though I have render form here. Which must mean, in my new, I can just do, oh, just kidding. So if I do creatures / new, it'll still work. Thank you. I'll never let go, Jack. I'll never let go. So that is how to do partials. Any questions on partials and refactoring? No? Cool beans, cool beans. Nice. All right, so let's do the last one, yeah? That's this, little destroy action. Does destroy have its own view? Do I need to render a destroy? No, right? That's kind of weird. I'm just gonna stick this somewhere like in like the index page, right? Like after each one, I'm just gonna have an option to edit and an option to destroy. Something like that? Should make sense. So before we get any further, let's not forget about our good friend, routes. Now that I have all of these, do I need to do the only? All right, that probably wouldn't have worked because I spelled destroy wrong. But if I have all 7, I'm not going to only and then put all of them. Make no sense. Silly. Don't make no sense out here dripping infinite. You know it, you know. All right, just me. Cool. So now I have my delete action. Right? Because I did resources for all of them. Cool. All I need to do is hit this route. If I hit this route, I'm going to hit this controller action. So let's do it. Let's go to the index. All I did was I typed in index here in case it was too fast. And then I just opened up index. Cool. So I have a link to, right? It's going to do this creature path. I can also be kind of grimy. And instead of this, I can put destroy all right? But what creature, what path do I want to go to? Interesting. Creature path, but there's no helper for patch, put, or delete. Why? It's because it's all the same. It's exactly the same. This whole thing is the same. What's the only thing that's different? The HTTP verb. That's the only thing that's different between the four of these, all right? So would creature path make sense if I can tell it what method to do? Yeah, right? So I can be like, cool, man, cool, why don't you go to this creature path, but this time I want this link to do a different method, and that method is going to be delete. Let's see. Let's go to my index or. Oh, let's just add a couple breaks in here for the ease of access. I keep spelling destroy wrong. Okay, that's also not very good looking. Let's do that. Do a little that. Cool. Destory. Oh man, that's terrible. Destroy with zeros. So how, whoa, I know. Gangsta. All right. So what does this do? You want to blast Reptar? Now let's blast your boy. What's gonna happen when I click this? Let's find out. It's just a link, data method delete for this URL. So let's test the theory. In theory, all right, I should be able to hit this right here, if that worked. Let's get rid of your boy. It's hanging. It's probably a good sign. And there we are. Yay, yay. Very good. And what are my params? Cool. All I really care about is this ID comes out. So that I can, in fact, do something like creature.find with the ID. All right? I mean, it's 8. Oh, fine. See your judging eyes. All right? C equals to. Just kidding. C. All right, what's wrong with that code? Oh, yeah. Jorp. Thank you. Then I can just do this. I can just blast it if I wanted to. God damn it. Did I do it again? I mean, gosh darn it. Caught me good. I might just blast it. All right. Cool. What is C? Not found. I'm sorry. C actually just meant continue for by bug. But what you could see is I blasted it. So in theory, if I were to refresh this page, it's gone. Yeah? It's gone. Boop. I don't even know James. Gone. So I can very easily just do creature.find with params ID. And then I could just chain on destroy if I wanted to. Oh man, that is really bad. That's a bad habit of mine. It's like, I'm such a bad instructor. So that's what I could do. Or I could do something like creature equals to creature.find. And then I can do creature.destroy. Why would I want to do something like this? In case I ever want to reuse creature at any point in my destroy. Cool? Notice the most important thing for this route is that I can hit this verb and this path, and it will do whatever the controller action tells it. All I have to do is hit the route. So, actually, before we do anything, can I redirect to the creature? No, because it's gone, right? So I should probably direct it somewhere safe, like the creature's path, like the index. Right? If you don't know where this came from, right there. The index. Index. Cool, right? Cool. So, without the buy bug, in full fast speed motion, right? This is a terrible one. Bloop. 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 Right? So, in my indexor, right, I did link to. I can also do, right? I could do like a form tag. And then I can just have it go to what? Creature path with creature. And then again, just force it to do method delete. Right? Oh yeah. But the form tag, does it submit itself? No. So then I also probably need the submit tag. Kind of whack, right? I don't think the form tag takes a do block. Right? It's the form for that takes the do block. Right? This is kind of like, it's trash. Right? I can also do a button to and a button to what? Where's it going to go? Creature's path. I got to pass in the creature. And then what? Method delete. Do I need a submit for my button? No, because the button kind of like does its own thing, right? Like if I click the button, just like when I click a link, it just kind of forwards somewhere. So these are all the different ways. To be perfectly honest with you, link to is the easiest. I just got to hit this route. Any questions on delete/destroy? Yeah?
Or at the button two, you didn't have to destroy in front of it. Just the button two. Do you need that there? Or
The button 2? Here, I think I looked it up. Oops, that's before action. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. So like button 2, right? Remember, the first argument is always what comes up on the page. And the second thing is just going to be like what the path is. I can then pass in like the method delete if I wanted to. But if I really wanted to, I can do button 2. It's going to say the word destroy. It's going to hit my destroy route, the method delete. I can then pass in things like data, like are you sure? So when I click it, it's like, hey, are you actually not? You want to do it? Let's just do it. Cool. Let's do what all good developers do. Copy and paste. All right. Let's get rid of this disable with. We don't need that. Cool. Remote. We don't need that. If you want to know what that is, I'll help you find it later. And what's the path that I need to hit again? Creature path with the creature object. So, let's see. Cool. Look at this sweet button. Bloop. Are you sure? Okay. Snoop Dogg. No, never Snoop. Scar. Okay. Reptar. Just kidding. It's my childhood hero. Any questions on like button 2 and like how I got that to work? Just read the docs. Yeah? Docs are great. Yes, sir.
I have a question about what do we actually use?
Put?
Yeah. Like the HTTP.
Oh, okay. You mean put or patch, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems like in the form when we read the HTML by inspecting it, it's always patched.
Mm-hmm.
When does put?
So, that's a good question. What's the difference between put and patch?
Put is the whole row.
Yeah. Okay. So when you want to update, right? Right? I have form here. Notice how like I didn't pass in the specific type. I could always do like method right here, and I can do put instead of patch. Would it make sense in my edit to use put if I only want to edit one field? Very likely, how often are you editing one field versus everything of that row? Most of the time what? You're editing the whole row or just one piece? One field, right? So if I were to pick a default, which one would I pick? That's why I use patch. They were smart.
So in that case, does that mean that whenever we do edit the whole row, it's just patching every single?
It's just patching every single one, yeah. Put is, not very often we'll use put. And to be honest, I can't think of any examples of when I would use put over patch. But there is a difference. Cool. That's a very good question, actually. Any other questions on full CRUD? All right, I got 3 minutes. I'm going to show you this like sweet refactor, and then I will let you go. Cool? So in my controller, I noticed that I'm doing this a lot. 1, a 2, a 3. 3 licks is all it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. All right, 4. The general rule of thumb is if I'm writing something 3 or more times, I gotta extract it out. That's too much. That's out of control. So, can I just have some sort of private method called find that creature? Yeah, that's out of control. Cool. And what is it gonna do? It's just gonna do this. Cool. So now, I do this how many times and where? I do this on the show, on the edit, on the update, sorry, wrong line, and then on the destroy. So it almost seems like before these 4 actions, I should do something. All right? Before these actions, I should do something. Something called before action. Yeah? So I could just rip this right here. All right? Just like I do in the docs. All good developers do this, copy and paste blindly. Before action, I'm going to do my method. And what's that method called? Yep. Cool. I'm going to do it for every single one. Should I, though? Should I? Probably only on which ones? Show, right? So I can do this. What else was it? I think it was edit, update, and destroy. Cool. So I can just do edit, update, and destroy. Cool. And so before I hit any of these, oh my God. I'm going to run a method called find_creature. And all it's going to do is it's going to run creature.findBy so that I don't have to run it every single time in each of those methods individually. So let's see. All right. What has it? Edit. So like /2/edit. Does 2 still exist? Cool. What else was it? The show? Cool. Yeah, and destroy works too, right? I'm sorry, Snoop. For the GG. It's for the greater good. Oh, just kidding. What's this? Oh, undefined method add creature. Oh, here we go. So why did this not work? It's returning an instance variable in find_creature. I've defined this as a local. Now it should work. Now you should see why I did not do creature.find with the params of ID and then chain on destroy. I didn't chain it specifically because I'm just going to find it first, assign it to the instance variable so that I can destroy it on this line so that I can do that cool guy smooth sexy refactor. Just like that. I called find creature right here on the destroy. If I didn't want to do this, ugh, I'd be like really trashy, right? If I didn't want to do this, yeah, it would be trash. I'd have to do this. Oh, God. This is bad. When is it? Edit? Ugh. 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 It's bad. All right? Why would I want to do that when I can easily just, before my actions. Cool? Oops. Oops. Cool? Any questions on before action? And that refactoring. So this is what we went over, just to summarize, and I don't want this like error in here. No, cancel. Keep Snoop Dogg. Right? Yes. Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. Good job. I think I did the same thing here. And just do this, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of this. Cool. All right. Do you still want this? I wrote these as notes for myself. Do you want this?
Yes.
Okay. It's your code. So, this is what we went over today. We finished edit, update, and destroy. I showed you how to use link to, button to, form for, and the submit to do destroy. I showed you partials, right? And how to render the partial inside of a different file. We went over again strong params. We created a before action method, and that we refactored the find by in all of our CRUD functionality. Are there any questions on that? Cool. Thanks for your time.